Welcome to Starting Lineup. With me right now is one of the gymnasts who will represent the Philippines for the 2024 Paris Olympics, Levi Jung-Ruivivar.
Hi.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, it was right.
Thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it. For sure you have a really tight schedule with your preparation. Just to start things off, we want to know your story and your Olympic journey. How did you get into Team USA?
Yes, so I started first of all, say thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be talking to you today. Second of all, I started gymnastics when I was actually 18 months old. So I could barely, I was a baby when I started. And my parents saw that I had a lot of energy. I was always climbing around all the furniture in our house and just like swinging around on the little, kindergarten playground bars. So they decided to put me in gymnastics, and I really did not know that would lead me to be in the place I am now. But I am so grateful for that decision. Then when I was 7, I moved to a gym closer to my house, and I started on the elite track. And for the US, that was called TOPS. My coach saw that I had a lot of potential and talent as a young athlete, so she wanted to put me in that program. So then from there, I progressed to developmental camp and then national team camp, which is where Simone Biles, Denise Lee, Charlize Jones, and all those gymnasts attend training camps about once a month. So I went to those training camps a lot as a U.S. athlete and competed internationally for Team USA for a few years before deciding to represent the Philippines.
That's right, and it's nice to know your story. It's like your parents really set you up to be a gymnast, and you got the right guidance for your Olympic dreams. When did you realize that you wanted to be an Olympian?
So I actually didn't even know what the Olympics were until obviously I was told what it was. I was already doing gymnastics. My coach and my old coach always jokes with me because I said when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I thought the highest that I could go was level 10, which is called JO in the US, which is Junior Olympics. So I thought the highest I could go possible was level 10. And so when I was little, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do level 10 when I'm 10 years old, and then I'm going to quit because that's as much as I can do, right? There's nothing else for me to do. But the second I learned that there was the Olympics, there was the elite track, I automatically wanted to follow it.
Of course, congratulations in qualifying for the Olympics. But another big decision that you had to make was representing the Philippines, right? You were doing well, but then you decided you wanted to represent the Philippines. Take us through the thought process. What was the decision-making like? And how did your parents, your family, and your teammates in the USA react to your decision to play for the Philippines?
Yeah, so it really did come from me. I talked about for a while that I wanted to represent the Philippines since I, was able to connect with my lolo a lot when I was young, and I always cherish those moments with him. And I grew up surrounded by a Filipino family on my dad's side, and I just felt very connected to that side of my family and that part of my heritage. And I guess because of that, I wanted the opportunity to connect more with that side of my family. And I also felt that it would be something that would bring me joy and happiness, and also bring me closer to my roots. And then I also was really excited because I wanted to get the opportunity to go to the Philippines and compete in Asia, and just there were so many pros about transitioning to the Philippines. But I would say the primary thing is just I felt so much like such a strong affinity for the Filipino community and how it was connected to my life, and being able to represent the country is just something that I'm honored to do. And I was so happy that I get to be able to do that. And also I really strongly wanted to be able to connect like with the other athletes in the Philippines. And recently going to Manila, I was able to do that, and it was incredible.
When did you first meet your teammates in the Team Philippines, and how was it like interacting with them, getting to know your stories, and finally being able to represent Philippines?
It was incredible. Obviously, going to the World Cups, I was competing for the Philippines, but unfortunately, like it wasn't a team competition. So it wasn't like we weren't, even though I was representing the Philippines as an individual, we weren't competing as a teame. So Asian Championships was the first time that I competed for the Philippines as a team. And it was so amazing. It was Charlie, Caitlin, me and Emma. And we had such an incredible time. And it was so nice to be able to like raise the Filipino flag. And then I won bronze on bars. So that was also amazing. So proud to be able to, see the Filipino flag up on the podium.
We already talked about Asian Games. Now we have to talk about the Doha World Cup, wherein that's qualified for the Olympics. I want to know how you felt when you finally realized that you made it, that finally you're able to achieve one of your biggest dreams to be in the Olympics.
It was absolutely surreal. I was texting my mom right after I got the score for my routine, and everyone else's scores came through, and then I got the silver medal. We were discussing strategies in terms of what I need to do for my routine in order to qualify and how the point system needs to work out. But because it was such a complex system, I was kind of unsure. So I was texting my mom. I was like, did I, mom, did I make it? Mom. And I was just kept texting her. And she was like, I think you did. But my heart was just beating so much because I wasn't sure. But I was just so hopeful. But I also didn't want to get my hopes up because, it was something I've been looking forward to my whole life. But the second I knew and it was official, I just, it felt like a dream. I genuinely felt like a dream. I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to pinch myself. I'm going to wake up. But it still to this day amazes me. And every time I think about it, I'm going to the Olympics. It makes me so incredibly happy.
What would you say is the impact of that visit here in the Philippines on your training right now? Was that an added motivation, an added inspiration for you?
Yes. So being able to come to the Philippines was truly amazing because I didn't realize how many people were supporting me and how many people were rooting for me. And just knowing that everyone has my back and is just so incredibly kind and rooting for me going to the Olympics really just made me realize how much I'm not only doing it for myself, but I'm doing it for all of those people as well. So it really, every time I'm struggling in the gym, I just have to think back to again why I'm doing it, and then also that I'm doing it for the Philippines too, which brings me so much joy and so much happiness, and that gives me that little extra boost to get over those hard days.
So far, what would be the biggest learning you have with your years and years of training? You started so young, you said 18 months, and you've already went to the gym, did some training.
Yes.
What's the learning so far that you think will be very important when you're already there?
I'm still learning, but that I have learned from all my years is to trust the training, trust yourself, and just kind of once you get in a rhythm and a flow during your routines and your performance, it kind of just builds upon itself. And so really just getting into that right headspace, calming the nerves, taking deep breath, understanding like how far you come, but also just staying really present and in the moment and not letting, outside distractions get in your head, or there's always going to be something that goes wrong. Like that's part of the sport, whether it's equipment or, you're slightly off on one of your skills or you're tired or something's, more sore that day. There's always something that goes wrong, but it's just learning to deal with like those difficulties and how you can use, instead of being defeated by them, just be motivated by them.
Thank you for joining us again today. Thank you for choosing Philippines.
Of course, it makes me so happy.
But again,
yes.
wish you luck, and we're rooting for you. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.